You're listening to Big World Network.
Shadowlands, Episode 1, written and read by David Talon. In those days there were three kingdoms separated by shadow: the heavens, ruled by the Celestials; the underworld, where the races of the Daemo dwelled; and the ancient battleground between them, the Middle Kingdom, where man and the other mortal races lived in fear of those above as well as below. The Shadowlands served as both bridge and barrier between the three kingdoms, for shadow creatures existed there that existed nowhere else, ever hungry for the taste of flesh they could not consume, ever lusting after the life they were forever denied. Ghost Dog. 7 ghosts in the form of ravens keep watch with me as the day slowly dies. They are perched on the tree branches above me as I crouch upon a rock, jutting out of the ground like a giant's fist, looking down the mountain slope through the trees at the flagstone road below. I suppose I'm not much more than a ghost myself, sinew and bone and flesh like old leather, the artifact plates riveted to my torso armor cracked and broken, while my clothes are so stained I can't remember what color they used to be. But I have good swords, a katana named Master strapped to my back, and a short sword named Apprentice at my side, both sheathed, and both keeping watch with me and the ravens as I look down from the rock. Leaves from the branches have fallen upon the ground like soldiers dead on the killing fields of our endless wars, the trees silent sentinels mourning their loss as the biting wind keens then fades away, leaving the forest hushed in watchful waiting. The road isn't much to look at anymore, its flagstones cracked with weeds growing up between the stones, but those who wish to avoid the official highways with their tariff collectors, soldiers, and officers of the ministries of secrets still find it useful. I hear the caravan before I see it, the sounds echoing up to me so it seems as though I'm crouched beside the road instead of far above it. The clop, clop, clop of horses' hooves, a man's curse, then another's laugh, the creak of a wagon shifting on the uneven stone. Then the outrider comes around the bend with the first of the caravan's wagons close behind, and as I see both the face and the white belt, I realize the outrider is a female knight. I've heard that in the days before the Daemo arrived, women warriors were rare. But these days the Empire's endless warfare has forced a few of a family's eldest sisters to take on the role of a man, since in the Empire only a male can be the head of a family or a clan. They must act in a man's role, leading their family's warriors into battle, governing the family's affairs, and never knowing the embrace of a man, which, by imperial decree, is punishable by death. They are allowed the pleasures of women, but some feel as strongly towards males as I towards females, and thus choose to remain celibate, though many have a favorite male squire they keep close to their side, or so I have heard. The knight is slender with her black hair in a warrior's braid like mine, and we share the same style of armor, wax-hardened leather with square plates of artifact, which are thick leather squares transmuted into something hard to steal, but still light as the leather it's made from. The barbarian people in the lands west of the great mountains have their own kind of magic, different than ours, and the art of transmuting leather and wood into artifact is one of them. Unlike my armor, she has layers of shoulder protectors and plates wrapped around each upper arm and around each thigh down to the knee. Her katana is sheathed at her side and attached to her white belt, while her small family flag flutters behind her, fastened to a flexible pole built into her armor, a rock rose, thorns and all. Seeing the haughty expression on her face, I'm sure the thorns of the rose are sharp. She rides past and the wagons rumble on behind her. The caravan master must be a wine merchant, for the wooden wagons are carrying large casks with the image of grapes burned into the red oak. The drivers are grizzled old men and a few women, each wearing rawhide armor with their weapons no doubt hidden under the wooden benches they sit upon as they carefully watch the flagstones of the road. Each wagon is drawn by a pair of horse oxen, placid beasts intelligent enough to understand the verbal commands of their drivers, and clearly well cared for, judging by the brawniness of their flesh. The caravan is a tempting prize for bandits, yet no one seems worried, perhaps because a dozen or so of the ladies' retainers are mixed in with the regular guards, walking alongside the caravan. Their armor the same, wax-hardened leather, but with steel rings attached, the family flag attached like the outriders. 2 of the guards are her red-belted squires, wearing the same armor, but with steel plates instead of rings, and chainmail covering vulnerable spots. There is one that is burly, with a black bushy beard, while the other is slender and shaven clean, his face a reflection of the knight's, a cousin perhaps? I don't know. But all of them are lax, sharing a jest, thinking of the abandoned way station less than a league away, or the horror they knew in the last town they visited, the skin of wine stashed with their gear, anything but an ambush. On the slope above the road, the bandits are thinking of nothing else as they watch the caravan approach. They wear ragged armor of moldy leather and rusty scraps scavenged off corpses, or perhaps it is their own armor, marking them as broken deserters slinking off long-forgotten battlefields, joining together with like-minded scum. They are spread out in a thin line, hiding behind trees and under bushes, in their hands rusty axes or cheap town-forged katanas, with several holding heavy crossbows normally carried by soldiers of the imperial army. They watch the caravan rolling by, occasionally glancing sideways at the outcropping of rock directly below mine, where scum of a different sort are watching the road from behind heavy brush. 3 men kneel on the hard stone, 2 on either side with red hair, and a young man in the center with short hair, white as new snow. He's obviously the leader. His armor is exactly the same as the female knight's, except that the artifact plates on his front are arranged in the pattern of a rose, which I noticed when he briefly turned around to signal the anxious men behind him. The katana in his hand is castle-forged, judging by the ripples in the blade, and the doubt he must be feeling is hidden behind the stern look he wears on his face like a mask. I've never seen him before, but recognize him as the last surviving heir of the Rose clan that rebelled against the Empire and lost. Rock Rose was a family of that clan, and I'm guessing when the last of the males were executed, the eldest daughter was given a choice: take on the role of family head and swear fealty to the Emperor, or have your family enslaved. I'm sure the young lord and the lady knight know each other well. The armor of his 2 squires has not been well cared for, looking little better than the ragged bandits spread out to either side of him, but both have castle-forged katanas sheathed at their sides and short bows in their hands. The one on the right looks to be in his late teen years, his short red hair mixed with a little orange, making him a fire mage, while the other has hair the color of dark blood, a blood mage, his hair part way down his back in a warrior's braid. Magic is strange. The shorter you keep your hair, the greater your power, but the greater the risk that you'll use too much and destroy yourself with your own magic. Keep your hair long and the magic is muted, but you can divert it towards keeping you alive. I see both effects in the faces of the 2 squires. Fire Archer has burn marks on his left cheek and forehead, while Blood Archer has a long scar running down the side of his neck from a wound he should be dead from. I keep my gray hair in a braid down my back, just past the shoulders. It's a good length. Through the bare trees I see a painted wagon and raise up to get a better look. It's half the size of the other ones, an old man with golden hair and a wispy beard seated atop it. Its high sides and covered roof make it look like a box with wheels. On the side facing me is the painted image of a young, golden-haired girl wearing a simple dress in the middle of a rice field with her arms outstretched in welcome, the green plants all leaning towards her. Standing near her in the muck is a noblewoman with a net of pearls in her hair, holding a silver cup for the girl to drink from. Nobles and peasants, painted standing together, are nearby on dry land. The roof has been painted with the image of a noble lord in armor standing next to his horse beside a peasant, while the lord's retainers remain mounted. The lord and the peasant are laughing, as if sharing a joke. The scenes are from the time of the empire before the Demo came, and whether the legends they depict are true or not, the peasants who approach will know at a glance that the man within offers healing, and will be more likely to trust him in a painted wagon than if his carriage was unadorned. Something's wrong about the wagon, though, and as it passes a gap in the trees, I realize it's not being drawn by horse oxen or any other animal, but the wagon is driving itself. There's no race upon earth that can create such a device except one, and when a large figure in rawhide armor, 7 feet tall and heavily muscled, with a square-jawed face and thick eye ridges, walks out in front of the cart to speak with the old man, I understand at once. The old man is the father of an Ogre Kai. If you follow the western mountains northward, in time you'll reach the enormous plateau known as the Roof of the World, where the race of the Ogre make their home. The city of Lower Temple commands the pass through the mountains into the lands of the west, and travelers from all over the known world enter its gates to trade, to explore new lands, or to escape from the old, and so on. As many stories as there are people passing through. If you enter those gates, however, the Ogre Magi, female mages with hair and eyes cobalt blue, will probe your mind. If you're a male, and they find you interesting, then one of them will test you. Few are tested, and far fewer pass, but if you are accepted, then you must become her lover until you give her a child. If the child is to be female, as most are, you will be given a marvelous gift that is unique upon earth and sent on your way, told never to return to the city again on pain of death. But if the child is to be male, then Lower Temple becomes your home, and you must remain with your son and teach him the ways of your race until he is an adult. Only then may you leave, though few do, or so I have heard, and those who depart almost always have their sons with them. For the race of the Ogre loves with ferocity unknown to man, and what they love, they never willingly leave. Patience, trust the wielder. I hear Master's voice in the back of my head. My swords have been linked to me for a long time. Both of them know what I know, and I feel the short sword's frustration as she rattles in her sheath. Both swords can speak into the minds of anyone close, including each other's. Master is an ancient sword, yet I am the first wielder apprentice has ever known. But I understand her frustration as I rise to my feet, pulling off my leather cap so my gray hair is exposed to the sky, as both swords unlatch the locks, holding them in their sheaths, even though in truth, I don't think there will be a fight. The young lord will have to deal with a trained knight and her retainers, an Ogre Kai in rawhide armor, who's carrying a cudgel as long as my leg, and a summer mage. The odds aren't in his favor, and the blood archer at least realizes it, for he catches the young lord's eye and gives him a questioning thumbs up, then thumbs down gesture. I smile as the winter-haired young lord scowls and makes a gesture, thumbs down. I drop to a crouch as Blood Archer moves off the rock and makes the same gesture to the bandits on either side. Fire Archer looks furious as the young lord turns his scowl on him. The bandits look frustrated, but they obey the young lord's command. All of them begin to slowly retreat up the slope while the caravan rolls on, oblivious. I prepare to conceal myself in the bushes behind the rock until the caravan has passed and I can continue tracking the bandits to their encampment to relieve them of their gold. A sharp movement to my right catches my eye. One of the bandits has tripped on a leaf-hidden tree root and is falling backwards, the heavy crossbow dropping from his hand. It hits another tree root with a bang and fires, hurling the bolt towards the caravan.
You're listening to Big World Network.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.